What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Coast to Coast Hoops. I'm your host, Adam Danis. We're back from holiday break. This show is presented by PickCity.com. Find your best bet at PickCity.com. Every game, every league, they have you covered at PickCity.com. After a long holiday break, Scoj and I are ready to break this stuff down. Back again for another college basketball slate on a beautiful, beautiful Saturday morning. What's up, Scoj? What's up? Happy
Hey, what's up,
holidays.
my man? Happy New Year. Happy 2022. And conference play has started, and the madness starts early. So it's the March to March, and got to adjust a little bit with conference play, but looking forward to a fun Saturday. Even though we have 40 plus games canceled or postponed, we still got quite a few to go. So I'm hoping this COVID stuff, man, I hope we can get a handle on it because it's just getting old. But I think it's going to be around for a little bit, but I'm hoping we can get through it.
Yeah, hopefully after the holidays and after, the cold January, February comes away, hopefully this is back to normal by March Madness. I would hate to see, a team lose their bid just because of a couple of kids are sick because of COVID. So I hope this is done by COVID time. I hope it's leaning towards the better ways, but we're gonna hop right in right here. First game, Furman takes on VMI. Furman kind of an up and down team to start this year, but you like the total here at 148.5.
Yeah, I like the total here. Two teams that actually get off to good starts, and there's going to be plenty of possessions, plenty of shots. Both teams aren't great on the defensive side. VMI at home, I actually like them to pull like a small upset here. Another bet in this game that you might want to look at is the first half total. I think you can get that at like 69.5, 70.5, somewhere right there. I think they probably fly over that total also if you'd like to jump on the first half here. But I'm going to play the full game total here. I think we're going to get a close game. So, when you're playing overs, you're always looking for a game that'll be close. So you can get that foul free throw overtime scenario at the end of the game. So I like the total here. Like I said, a lot of possessions, a lot of shots, two good or decent three-point shooting teams, two teams that aren't great on the defensive side of the ball. So I think we're going to get a lot of points here. I like this game to go north of 160 today.
Yeah, we've seen Furman play UNC pretty well, but they fell off the second half. But they put up points. That's one thing they can do is put up points. They're a fast-paced team. They actually made UNC play a little faster than what they wanted to in the first half, and that's ended up why they were close in the first half, and then UNC started playing their way in the second half, and you know what happened after that. This Furman team is just so up and down, play-wise on defense, but their offense has been consistent throughout the year, which is why we both love the total here.
Well, and that's another reason I kind of like that first half total too. I think that's a good play because Furman, they've had some struggles in the second half of games this year. There's been like 3 or 4 games where they've really struggled in the second half. So that first half total is a possible play. I mean, I'm actually not on it. I'm on the full game here, but I that first half play probably wouldn't be a bad play.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we've seen Furman come out hot in the first half, but the second half, I don't know if it's just because they come out of the locker room or if it's just their coach just yelling at them and they just down the dumps, but they come out slow second half. So I think first half total is gonna shoot over that total. So I actually love the first half now. It might be a play for me as well. Furman in the first half might be a play as well, just because, like I said, they come out hot in the first half. I think VMI wins this towards the end of the game or has a chance to win it towards the end of the game just because I don't trust Furman late in games and early second half. So both on the total here. I love Furman in the first half, but the easy play is just take the total over 148.5. We both think the skyrockets over that. So next game is my game, Virginia at Syracuse. Syracuse just been beasts at home lately. 3-0 the last 3. They've put up 80 plus in all 3 of those games. Both Boeheim brothers and Joey have been both playing pretty well. Like I said, three guards, and they're playing well. What can go wrong? Obviously, a good coach in Boeheim. But the thing about this team is, and obviously they play Virginia for one of the first conference games of the year. We know Virginia can play tough D. We know they can play tough D on the road. Obviously, they have a plan for the Syracuse team because it's not their first time playing them as a coach, I'm saying. But this Syracuse, I watched all 3 games. This Syracuse team is shooting lights out right now. And I know Virginia is great on defense. I know they have a plan to stop them, but can you stop them is a real problem. If Buddy is in the paint now, getting his own boards, putting them back in. Like, he's not just some 3-and-D guy anymore. He's in the paint. He's He's shooting fadeaways from mid range. He's in the paint, getting his boards and putting them back in. He's playing with some fire. Like I said, these other two guards, one being his brother, they're putting up 15 plus a game. And I know it's Virginia. I know it's a tough defense, but I'm rolling with the hot team here in Syracuse.
Yeah, when I first looked at this game, I looked at the total because anytime I see Syracuse on a total under 130, my ears perk up. But playing a Virginia team, when I see over 120, my ears perk up also.
Yeah.
So it's a confusing game for me because Bennett teams, they're well coached, they play solid defense, they're always in passing lanes. They love taking away what you do well. So Syracuse, my rule with Syracuse usually is this: I love Syracuse as a dog, and as a favorite, I'll just stay away from them. This game, and usually with games with Virginia in it, I'll just stay away because Virginia they're kind of like a St. Mary's. They just have a way of mucking up games. Syracuse is the better team. They're the better shooting team. They're the better offensive team, and they're at home. So if I had to play on this game, I probably would lean Syracuse. The total I just wouldn't touch because Virginia offensively scares me, and the pace they play scares me too. So I think the total's pretty much spot on. I can see Syracuse winning a 66, 60, 68, 62 game here. So it's a pass for me on all aspects of this game. But if I leaned, if you made me pick here, I probably would I would take Syracuse in the points.
And when we talk about like Virginia and playing these like tough defensive matchups and how they're always tough on defense and they slow teams down, have they played a team this year? Or I mean, they played them last year, but have they played a team this year yet where they have a team who can just beat you straight from shooting the ball, straight from spot up threes, and no like dribble shot? It's just straight up 3-point shooting. We've seen Buddy, we've seen his brother, we've seen the other guard and Joe just straight up get buckets from the 3-point land and not coming off some crazy screens or not coming off some crazy dribble movement. It's just straight up pass to shoot 3-pointers. And I think Virginia is going to have a problem today.
Yeah. Well, the best 3-point shooting.
If Syracuse comes out hot today, if Syracuse gets up to a 15, 16-point lead early, it's over because I don't see Virginia being a comeback team at all.
They never are.
They never are because they have trouble scoring. They went down this year. I forget who it was. They played the same game they should have beat. They're 10-point favorites. They went down 8 in the first half, and the game was over. Because if you keep getting defensive stops down 8, great. But you got to make scoring opportunities off those turnovers, and they can't do it.
And the other thing with Virginia's tempos, they will not speed up. They won't. They just will not do it. Down 6, down 8, down 10. They don't speed up. And the only team that they faced that was a pretty good 3-point shooting team was Houston. They lost that game by 20. So, I mean, Houston's actually a lot better than Syracuse on the defensive side. Syracuse plays that 3-2 zone with Boeheim. So Virginia will get some shots, but offensively, I don't trust them.
They don't scare me. Like when Syracuse, when they play Duke, when they play UNC, that's when it will scare me. That's when the 3-2 defense will scare me. Obviously, UNC with the big guys down low, but this Virginia team does not scare me at all on offense, not one bit. Only problem I have with Syracuse, and I've told you this before in the last couple of games, if this game gets close, if this game is 5-6 points down the stretch with 30 seconds left and they're shooting free throws, I'm fucked. Because Syracuse is one of the worst free throw shooting teams in the country right now. I've watched them miss 14 straight in a row. 14 straight. They cannot shoot free throws. So what I need to happen here is I need this game to be a 10-point game with like a minute to go, and there's no free throws that are meaningful. And I think Syracuse will get it done today just with the 3-point shooting alone. I think Boeheim's got them pumped after these last 3 home games. And I think they trounced Virginia. I think it's an easy 15-point game today. I don't see how Virginia even wins, not even close to winning today. And covering, I'll take the points. So next game, your game, Toledo at Kent State. Kent State getting 2.5 or given 2.5 at home today. Over under sitting at 142.5.
Yep, and this game has actually gone the opposite way. I jumped on it early thinking that it would slide towards Toledo, but this line is actually slide towards Kent State, which always is a little concerning to me. But just looking at the form at both of these teams, Toledo is just rolling right now on offense. They've covered 5 of their last 6 games. Kent State comes in struggling. They've lost their last 3. They failed to cover, and I think 3 of their last 4. This is like me and you have talked about. This is the beginning of conference play. So you take a team like William and Mary that didn't cover a game all year long, and they've won not only covered their last 2, but they've won outright their last 2 against Hofstra and Northeastern, which are 2 decent teams that should have handled William and Mary. So even though Kent State's in bad form, I mean, the beginning of conference play, you've always got to be a little cautious, a little careful. I just like this Toledo team. I like the form they're in right now. They're shooting the ball great. They are getting stops. They are playing, and Kent State's just flat out struggling right now. So I like Toledo straight up in this game. Take the 2.5 if you want the points, but I like Toledo to win this game straight up here. I am going to take the 2.5 points, but I like Toledo straight up here.
And again, we talk about when they're close games, and if you see a dog getting 2.5, or you see them winning, I look at the total as well, 142.5. I mean, it could come down to a 75-72 game where the total goes over some free throws at the end. But again, this is going to be a close game, I think. Look at the total. Look at Toledo in the first half. Maybe they get off to a hot start. I love the plus money with Toledo today, just because I don't really trust Kent State in any aspect. Toledo's been playing pretty good basketball, and them getting 2.5 is a pretty good number for me. So I agree on that. Next game, Villanova at Seton Hall. Seton Hall getting 1 at home. At first, I was on Villanova, just because I think Villanova's got to come out and they've got to show like they're top dogs in the Big East. They are the team to run the Big East. But looking into it and more in depth, and you helped me with this too. Seton Hall is undefeated at home. They're 7-0. Villanova's been such a different team on the road than at home. They're 1-3 away from their home. They just got trounced by Creighton by 20. Seton Hall, like you said, the bigger team, which Villanova is not big at all. So they can kill them down in the paint. I think this is a slow paced game. I think Seton Hall keeps Villanova below 70 today. Just because if Seton Hall is going to win, they're gonna kill the post. I think today, kill it down low. But Villanova, I mean, they have Gillespie, they have a couple shooters, but they just haven't played consistently enough to where I can put my money on them. And this line too, this line is a little weird, and we've said this in the past. When the line is weird, go the weird way, and not that Seton Hall is the weird way. But Seton Hall, they have so much going for them. They're playing Villanova. It's a rivalry game. They're pumped. They're at home. They got their fans at home. They're 7-0 at home, playing for that 8-0 win streak. I think everything goes in Seton Hall's favor today, and I'm just fading Villanova on the road.
Yeah, and styles make fights here, so they defend the 3 well. Villanova likes to shoot the 3, so I think Villanova is going to struggle shooting, and Seton Hall is going to probably control the boards. Villanova not a very big team. Villanova is a good defensive team, so the under is probably, if I was going to do anything in this game, that's probably where I would go. The fact that this is going to be a close game kind of keeps me off of that play, because I don't want there to be, the under could look good for 37 minutes, and then in the last 3 minutes you're getting foul score. Yeah, so I don't like the total there either, but I do think Seton Hall is going to control this game, control the pace of the game, control the boards. They're gonna push Villanova outside that 3-point line and contest shots all game long. So I do like Seton Hall here. Not a game I'm playing personally, but I do like Seton Hall in this game.
Again, the total, I don't see each team getting to 70 today, just because I think Seton Hall is, like we said, control the pace at home, control the pace in their home court, try to work the ball inside since Villanova is such a smaller team. And like you said, Seton Hall defends the 3 really well, and at home, which is another advantage for them. And they come in as a home dog. Home dogs in conference play, I just think they're coming in with a chip on their shoulder against a Villanova team who's had their number the past couple of years. And I think Seton Hall gets the gutty win today. I think it's gonna be a hard fought, free throws at the end. 65-63 type of game. Like I said, I don't see either team getting to 70 today. Only way Villanova gets to 70 is if they shoot lights out from three and tough defense. But I think I trust Seton Hall well enough at home to do that job. Next game, UTSA at UAB. UAB played their first conference game at home, and they got the job done late, even though they squeaked by half a point of a 3-point buzzer beater. Let's go. This is one of your favorite plays today, I think, right?
Oh yeah, I mean this is just a complete mismatch when you look at it. When you look at the numbers, I even posted this on Twitter. UAB is going to do whatever they want, whenever they want, however they want. I wouldn't be shocked to see UAB have this covered in the first half. They're 86 or 82nd in offensive efficiency, 38th in defense. UTSA struggling from three. They're shooting like 26.8% from three. This is just a complete mismatch. I'm actually surprised that this number isn't moving. I thought this would, I got it at 21 last night, and I thought this would just continue to move up, but it's kind of stayed. A big spread like that, I guess, not a lot of people are jumping on it. But when you break this game down and you just look at it, this is a complete mismatch. I thought Richmond was a complete mismatch too, and they lost by 30 to St. Joe's. So, anything can happen at any time. But just looking at this is my favorite game of the day. This is my favorite play. UAB, I like this. I like them up to like 23, 24. I would still be confident in this game. I think this is going to be an absolute trounce by UAB. Like I said, they're going to do whatever they want, whenever they want, however they want in this game. And I think this is just going to be a boat race right from the beginning.
Awesome. Yeah, obviously UAB at home is dangerous. We've seen in the past Trout's team before. UTSA doesn't really scare me on offense too much, and I think UAB will play. Well, UTSA is going to adjust to UAB today, and I don't think they have the talent to do that today. So I see UAB winning by 28 plus. So I'm right on there with you. The total to go under as well, 143.5 just seems like a lot, unless UAB just trouts them and puts up 80 on them, which is of course possible today. But I don't think UTSA puts up too many points. I don't think UTSA puts up any fight at all today against this tough UAB team at home. So
yeah, It's and if you're going to play an under, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for a blowout. So you're not going to get any kind of craziness at the end. So
yep.
Unless you get the scrubs in there that just want to chuck shots.
Yeah.
So that could always burn you. But yeah, if you're going to play the total there, I think the under's to play.
Next game we both love. It's funny how things change after one game, isn't it? DePaul just lost to Butler on the road. We were both on Butler pretty heavy. We both loved that game early this week, and they just didn't show up to play. To me, they're frauds now. I think Liberty's a fraud. He is not the top guard in the Big East. He did not. He went like 1 for 8 from three. I know it's one game, but just the eye test for me, it's just not there for him. Providence comes in at DePaul, giving DePaul 1.5. I don't think there's much to say here. Providence is on fire. Providence at home is even better, but I'll take them on the road by 2. Any day of the week right now, basically against anybody, just because Providence is just they're playing really well. Their coach has got them playing with the heart. They're shooting the 3-ball really well. They got 3 good players who can get you 20 plus. And Durham's just playing real well right now. I see the Providence with an easy win today, 10+ point victory. The over is a sneaky play here, I think, just because we've seen the Paul last game come out on fire late towards the end of the game, and I think this over could sneak over towards the end if Providence gets up to a 15-point lead, and DePaul just starts like shooting threes towards the end to get back into the game. They start making them because they have the potential to make threes. It's just to do it is the problem. So I think the over is a sneaky play taking the over today, but I'm all over Providence.
Yeah, no, the play in this game is Providence. I mean, the total I'm going to stay off of just because I love Providence. I've watched them play 2 or 3 games this year, and the thing I love about Providence is they force you to play their style. DePaul wants to get out, they want to run, they want to shoot threes, they want to push the pace, and Providence isn't going to allow that to happen here. I know they're on the road, they're at DePaul, so that's always conference game on the road is always tough, especially if it's your first conference game on the road. But I like this Providence team. They're deep, they're healthy. They're not, as of right now, as we're doing the show, I don't see them missing anybody or anything like that.
Yeah.
And again, this Providence team, a good defensive team, and they take away what you do well. So I think they're gonna grind this game out. They're gonna frustrate DePaul. I actually think this game will be close for a while. I think Providence will probably pull it out late, and the total, I know you said it's a sneaky play over. If I was going to do anything here, because I think Providence is going to dictate the pace of this game, I would lean to the under in this game. I'm not playing the total at all. I think the play in this game is Providence, by far. But the total, I wouldn't touch. You're right, DePaul. They have the ability to shoot threes. They love to play at a fast pace. And early on, but now they're in conference play, and they're going to be running up against Providence's, Seton Halls, Villanovas. They're going to be running against the Marquettes. These teams that love to play defense and grind out games. So I think DePaul's going to struggle this year.
Yeah, and this thing with the DePaul team is, I think you watched the game, but I might have been texting you about it. But the eye test for me is DePaul. They love to get out and run. Like, they love the fast breaks, but when they get out and run, they turn the ball over, like, every single time. I don't know if it's just like the ability to dribble the basketball when you're moving, like, as a basketball player, but like every time they went in the middle of the court, they crossed over to the middle of the court, turnover off their foot, off the guy's hand. So I'm not really afraid of them if they want to play that type of game, fast break and go to the hoop and maybe look for a 3 outlook. But I think, like you said, Providence dictates this game pretty easily today. And DePaul, after watching them, just doesn't scare me at all. I know they're out their best player last game. I don't know if he's back today. Do you know that yet?
Who? DePaul?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
best player was out. Clark, I think.
The last I saw was questionable. Yeah, the last I saw was questionable.
Okay.
So
So again, they look like crap without him. Now, if he comes back and plays today, I mean, you can't help that. But I think DePaul just looked like dog crap at their first conference game. And unless their coach, who I'm not a huge fan of, didn't make really any adjustments during the game against Butler last game, and I think this Providence team is 10 times the team as Butler is. So I think Providence with just the easy win today. Next game. One of my teams who I'm falling in love with, right? And we both love this team at home. We hate them on the road. Our pick of the day for the show today, Lafayette at Coastal Carolina. We're rolling with Coastal at home. They just trounced an LA Monroe team by 30 2 days ago. And we're going back to the well here. I know, Scoj, you got that opening line at 3.5. I love this game all the way up to 6.5, just because I think a 10-point win here is pretty easily going to happen for Coastal. They put up 96 last home game against LA Monroe. I don't know if they put up that many today with a tougher matchup with the Raging Cajuns, but I do think they put up 80 at home today. Coastal get an easy win today, I think, at home.
Yeah, Coastal, they've got spurtability at home. They also are going to be able to handle Lafayette's size in the front court and in the back court, because they are a big team. But Coastal offensively, Lafayette struggles to shoot the ball, and Coastal's going to be able to maintain the boards, and Coastal at home is going to absolutely control the pace of this game. So I'm not calling for blowout city here, but I do think Coastal. The Coastal games I've watched, all of them on the road and at home, they always, the first 5-6 minutes, it seems like they're in a boxing match and they're just feeling out the opponent, and then they just, I think they were down by 7 to Monroe, and I flipped the channel and then I turned it back and they were up 11. It was like 4 minutes. They have, like I said, they have that spurtability. They just get on you defensively, and they just turn turnovers into points. And I just don't think Lafayette's going to be able to stay with them for 40 minutes here. This game might be close in the first half. It might even be close a little ways into the second half, but I think eventually Coastal's going to hit that 3 or 4 minute period where they're just they'll put the game away.
Yeah, and again, Coastal is one of those teams. LSU, we see the same thing. At home, that crowd is just totally different for them. They play a different way. And Coastal is one of those schools where the crowd comes out and they show up to these home games. And I think Lafayette is going to get punched in the mouth. Now, is it early to get punched in the mouth? Probably not, just because, like you said, we've seen this Coastal team come out pretty slow to start the game. But it could be early in the second half. But at some point today, they're going to get punched in the throat. and they're going to be down on their knees trying to breathe, and Coastal's just going to run it down their throat.
Yeah.
I think Coastal. I'm not going to say, like you said, I'm not going to say a blowout because it's conference play. Coastal's still not one of those teams where I think they could blow out every game, but I think an easy 10-point win today, just because Coastal's going to put up 80, and I don't know if Lafayette can keep up with the 80-point scoring team of Coastal. So
Right.
I think an easy 10-point win today. I'm not calling for a blowout, but I think it's not going to be a sweat down the stretch. Those are our games today. Obviously, unfortunately, we got COVID going on. Like Coach said, 40+ games canceled today, which obviously sucks. But our funnest part of the show, and I think most of you guys watching love this part of the show, we got some parlays for you. I'm gonna go first. Scoge, you can go second because you get the big dog. Um, I think this one's pretty easy. And now we always talk about easy parlays on our thing. Scoge, we had this conversation a couple days ago at Richmond. But this game, these 3 games just look pretty easily for me to take. One being Coastal at home, straight up money line. The next is being Baylor on the road against Iowa State, which is a tough game, I think, for Baylor. They're putting up 7.5, which we both don't like the line here. We both think it's a perfect line at 7.5. We both said if it was like 4, 5, 6, he probably would have played it, but 7.5 just looks too good for the books right there. So I'm gonna play Baylor money line just because I think Baylor is the best team in the country right now. I don't see them losing to a Iowa State team today. And the next game is Abilene Christian on the road. Abilene Christian is playing pretty good ball. And they're playing Dixie State. All I gotta say. So Abilene Christian money line, Baylor money line, and Coastal at home money line gets you at plus 116. Probably jump up to plus 120 before the game starts if you want to wait a little bit longer. But I think that's an easy 3-team parlay cash today.
Okay, yeah, and then I've got a 3-team money line dog parlay that's at plus 1377. But before I get into that, I'm going to answer a question because I get this question in my DMs, and I know I'm just surprising you with this, but I just thought of it, and that's my second half plays. And I just want to explain that really quick because people that follow me on the Action app, a lot of times they don't get the alerts on that, and I'm trying to do a better job of getting those out on Twitter as fast as I can. So I've been doing second half plays for the last 7 years, and this second half model that I've kind of come up with for myself has been cashing at about a 67% rate. And the way this goes is when I play this, I look for teams that I'm playing as a favorite. So if I'm on a favorite like UAB today, who's minus 21, minus 21 and a half, whatever you get that game at, I will look for a second half play if they don't have that spread covered by halftime. So if they're up by 10, 11, 12 points at halftime, I'm going to look at that second half number. And if that second half number doesn't push it over the total spread, so if that second half number comes out at -6 or -7 and they're up by 10, 11, then I'm going to go ahead. That's just an auto play for me. I'm going to play that. I'm already on that team to cover the spread. So if I can get that number below the overall spread, I'm going to play that. So that's just my second half model play. That's my auto play. It's only on games that I play. It's not on every game that's going on. It's only on teams that I bet where the favorite doesn't have the game covered by halftime and is leading. That's the other thing in that model is they have to be leading at halftime. They cannot be losing or tied. They have to be leading. So if they're leading at halftime, they're the favorite in the game, and that second half number does not push the total over, then I'm going to jump on that and play that second half number. So that's the second half model for those of you that like to tail those plays and you don't get the alerts. If I'm on a favorite, that's just kind of the model you want to look for. So that's the second half model. Now, the parlay I've got today, it's a three-team money line. These are all dogs in the game, and I've got these 3 with pretty good chances to win the game today. First is going to be Western Kentucky. They're at Louisiana Tech. The spread in that game is plus 5.5, but I've got Western Kentucky winning that game outright. The second team is going to be VMI. They're at home against Furman. I think that spread in that game is 4. So I've got VMI winning a close game late there. And the last is Toledo. I think Toledo's going to win that game outright. I think that's a 2.5 point spread right now. So you can get all of those three are dogs on the money line. That parlay plays plus 1377. Again, that's Western Kentucky, VMI, and Toledo on the money line.
That sounds like a pretty good odds to me at plus 1360. That's spicy. The only thing like with parlays, right? And we're both consider ourselves pretty good at what we do. And to people who are watching this, just be advised, like these parlays, we're not putting 3-5 units on them. We're putting a little smidgen, maybe half to a full unit on these games. The games you see up here, like this UAB team, I know Scott is hammering this. Coastal game, we're both probably gonna hammer it. I think he already did. Providence game, I'm gonna hammer it. These parlays we give to you guys and these like plus 13 whatever parlays, we're betting them, but we're not putting out 3-5 unit plays on them. Like we just advise you guys just to be careful with your money, bet responsibly. Like these are just fun parlays that we do. But I know you guys love parlays because we're all degens here. But and I'm not blaming you for betting any of these parlays. But just be careful with your money. And then we're not guaranteeing a win with parlays. Just be careful. So recap. Furman over with VMI over 148.5, probably over to what 150. Scrooge, is that the cap you have on that?
I'd play it up to like 152, 153. I think that game goes over 160.
Okay. Next game for me, Syracuse -4. I just think Syracuse wins 15 plus today. Like I said, I'm falling more in love with this game as we talk about it. I think easy win for Syracuse. Virginia doesn't scare me. Toledo at Kent State. You got Toledo getting 2.5 all the way up to what to 1.5. You think they went outright? So,
yep.
Okay. Villanova at Seton Hall. I think Seton Hall gets the outright win here. Like we said, Seton Hall a bigger team. Villanova struggles in the roads. At Seton Hall at home in the rivalry game, I'll take the home dog. UTSA on the road against UAB. Scotch is one of his pick of the days today is UAB -21.5. We both think they trounce them today pretty easily. And then Providence on the road, giving my 1.5. Like you said, probably a close game for the first 10, 15 minutes. And then coming out second half, I think Providence rolls through this team today. And then our pick of the day for the show is Coastal at home. Anywhere up to 6, I think, is a good play, 6.5. Coastal at home against Lafayette. Scoj, anything else for the fellas today?
Nope. Those of you who've been following me, I told everybody when conference play starts, it's almost, it's almost the last 3 years. It's been the same thing for me. As I always struggle about the first 1 or 2 weeks, and then about mid-January I'll hit my stride again. But I'm going to power through it. I love the plays today. I'm going to back down just a little bit on the Action app, but still I've got a lot of units out there today. So those of you that follow me on Action app, I got quite a few plays out there, quite a few units out there today. But I'm gonna keep doing what I'm gonna adjust a little bit to the conference and COVID stuff. I follow all the teams on Twitter. I'm looking at constantly for COVID, for players being out. You don't always get that information. The Alabama Tennessee game that opened at 2, then it went to 3, then it went to 4.5, then it went to 6, then it went to 7. I mean, and then you find out 30 minutes before the game that Tennessee's going to be, or an hour before the game, Tennessee's missing their 2 best players. So it's just when you see lines moving like that, something's going on, and most likely it's COVID. So just pay attention the best you can.
Yep, of course. I mean, we're playing different times today with COVID, so. I mean, if players go out 5 minutes before the game and your bet is in, I mean, there's not much more you can do. Just accept it and hope they win without them. But it's tough right now. So just like we always say, bet responsibly. Don't bet your paycheck. Bet responsibly. Have fun. Have a great, relaxing Saturday. And we will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Back for some more plays tomorrow.
Unless of course you're betting your paycheck on Alabama in the semifinal, then go ahead and do that because that was the easiest play of the year. So
let's go. It's college basketball show, not college football.
Well, I'm just saying, if you're going to bet your check, that's what you bet your check on. It's Alabama in the semifinal game. Yeah. So
all right, well, we'll see you guys tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, back with a full slate tomorrow.